What are we doing, people? How are we doing on this Thursday night? As Michael attempts to, turn the volume down on his phone. It's not working too well, Michael.
Are you sure? Even though
Um,
I had it completely down before you were saying that, and now it just finally goes down.
yeah,
All right.
it's all right. Well, Michael, everybody makes mistakes out here. As Hannah Montana once said, everybody has those days.
Okay. I mean, I can't act like I don't know who Hannah Montana is because I definitely like Hannah Montana much better than I like Miley Cyrus now. But
Bro, Hannah Montana was the show back in the day. For me, because, I was a child.
it was a little more young blood for me.
Well, I would hope so. What were you, about 35 when that show was out?
Okay, that's how old I am now. So
Yeah, okay. Uh-huh. I still don't think, I'm not sure I believe it. It's all right, Michael. Michael, how are you doing on this Thursday night, though? Let me
I'm a
start the
little
show off correct by asking.
I'm a little flustered. I'm not gonna lie. I literally just walked in the door, took off my polo from work, and threw this on and ran upstairs. Asked my wife to fix me a glass of water because you guys know I always have a thing of water with me, and to bring upstairs as I'm trying to get the computer set up. And turns out I took the computer downstairs because I was going to try to work on something today, and it didn't work anyway. So she brought me my water up, and I had to run downstairs to get the computer and get the computer set up and everything.
Uh-huh.
So it's been a morning. It's been a process. I'll say that. But as far as the whole day, it's been interesting. Let's just say that. Not really
Uh-huh.
too much going on in the world of baseball, but at least there's a lot going on in the world of Michael Lawson. So that makes it fun.
Exactly. That is
How
true.
about yourself?
Michael, I think the sleep deprivation has finally caught up to the kid. Uh, let's see. Because, Michael, waking up at 11 o'clock shouldn't be hard for anybody. But when you go to bed at 5:30 in the morning, it gets a little more interesting because,
That could be
technically
a problem.
that's only about 6 hours.
Hmm.
So, a normal person waking up at 11, they're nice and refreshed. But,
Right.
me, a little tough. A
Well,
little tough.
I can see how that would be a problem, but
But working through it. I took a nice 30-minute power nap before the show, which considering it's 9:30, that means I should probably just go to sleep for the night. But we're here for the people, Michael. I can't just abandon everybody.
no, you can't. That would just be wrong. But
Well,
honestly, I
listen,
actually
a little
tried to
work
cancel.
today. You tried to cancel,
I did try to cancel, but the show must go on, and you talked me into it. So we're having today's show.
Michael. I already skipped out last week for
You
Spider Man.
you
Which,
did maybe.
by the way, Michael, if I have to ever make the decision again, 10 out of 10 was worth it.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I haven't watched it. I want to watch it. I would love to watch it, and I've
No
got a
spoilers,
coworker.
Michael, but Spider Man's in the movie. Just
Oh, really? That's hilarious. I feel like I've heard that before.
I didn't want to spoil it for
I'll
you.
tell
I
you
thought I
this
would
at
just tell
least,
you the main characters.
as far as a spoiler. So there, my buddy, he has been TikToking it enough for me to be like, "Oh man, this was a great scene," but I don't want you to watch it if you think you'll watch it and don't want to spoil anything. I'm like, man, let me just go ahead and watch it. And the stuff that I've seen on it is pretty awesome. I want to see it
Michael,
so
you're
bad.
ruining the whole movie for yourself.
I don't know when I'm going to see it, so this might be my only chance of seeing it. I'll probably watch it when it actually comes out on Disney Plus because if
I
you
thought
watched
so
me on
too.
Count the Bucket, you found out that I'm actually a cheapskate.
Well, aren't we all, Michael?
Well, apparently Ethan, who was on Count the Bucket with us, he goes to a place once every 3 months that it's like $150 for him and his friends to eat.
Like per
That's
person.
crazy to me. I'm not for sure how he meant it, but still, I don't care how many people go with me. It shouldn't be over $150.
Well, I mean, if you're sitting down with 4 or 5 people, 150. That's like $20 a person.
Yeah, that's
50.
still crazy. as I hear a child crying. And that's something I told Connie earlier. It may be a rough night for me because my wife had to run to town and I'm having to crack the door open. So I may have some screaming kids coming in here.
And
Come on in here.
Michael lives in the middle of nowhere, so when his
Yes.
wife has to go to town, that means it's a 6-hour trip.
Yes. Is that you, Katie? Come in here, sis. Oh, man. I'm sorry. Mommy's gone. You got me. Come over here. Daddy's doing a show.
I wouldn't lie. I wouldn't.
Here, come around here so I can get you. I can get you this way, but you're coming this way. Connie, while I'm doing this, you want to talk about the Mets and what happened there, please?
Oh, you know what, Michael? I will. I certainly will. But you know what, Michael? I do want to start off first, actually. I loved what you guys did last week. You guys missed the show last week. I saw you guys talk a little bit about how everybody got into baseball.
I meant to ask you that. I'm sorry. I wanted to actually ask you that.
It's okay. It's fine because you know what? I remembered. And I thought I would, as you know, I'm getting it. Listen, this show's just a mess. I'm out here getting FaceTime calls in the middle of it. That's popping up on my computer. You know, almost scared me. Scared me a little bit, just slightly. But yes, me getting into baseball, right? So I was just surrounded by it, man. It was literally everywhere. I mean, like earliest memories is, man, the Little League fields. I played, you know, T-ball, all that fun stuff. And both of my brothers played, so I was always around their games as well. It was literally just a whole lot of baseball always, and then you know you finally start watching, you know, the MLB and things like that, and you get further and further into it. But yeah, I mean, it was just always around. You know, it was 7 o'clock, waking up, going to the Little League field for, you know, my stupid T-ball game at 8, and then sitting around at the fields wanting to go home, but having to wait because, you know, my brothers had games as well, and my brothers are 2 years apart from each other, not from me. My middle brother's 4 years older than me, and then obviously my other brother would be 6 years older than me.
Right.
So we would, you know, they were in the different divisions and things like that. And yeah, it was just a matter of sitting there watching them play. And listen, you know, I'm not one to admit things like this very often, but there's a reason, people, that I'm here talking about the MLB. And instead of, you know, getting ready to swing the bat in the minors, I wasn't very good.
I understand.
I had my moments. In fact, Michael, I still vividly remember, I tell you, one of the first pitch I ever saw in majors, right? Because we had, I think we went T-ball, pitching machine, soft toss.
Minor.
Yeah, minor major, right? First pitch I ever seen in majors, right? Your boy's feeling
so fancy.
Your boy's feeling good. And guess what? I hit a bomb down I'm a lefty too, batter. I'm a lefty batter.
Okay.
I'm a righty, which is very weird. Me and all my brothers are like that. And
really?
My dad's a lefty.
Dalton is like that, if you remember.
Yes, he is. And like my dad's an actual lefty. And
okay. And bats right?
Yeah. So we're all just messed up. But sure. I hit one down the left field line, oppo. Right into the trees, Michael. Foul ball.
A
foul ball home run on one of my first at-bats of majors. And then it was all downhill from there. There was a lot of strikeouts. But that same year, I did end up, you know, second half of the year, you know, I turned it around, Michael. I don't know what got into me. Ended up making the all-star team, things like that. And listen, our all-star team, barely an all-star team, by the way.
Gotcha.
Our all-star team, I think every single year, by the way, literally every single year, got swept in the all-star tournament.
Okay.
Every year it was a 2-0. We're done after the first 2 games. Every year.
But see, with ours, we'd actually, I think, do like 2 teams, 2 all-star teams that we'd always put in, and they would always divide them to try to make them both decently good instead of like, I mean, I hate to say it, but like to stack one team, give all the better players and have like a B team or anything. So it'd always be like 1A and 1B, if you will, or 1A, 2B, or 1A, 2A. You got it. There we go.
You
But
know, English is hard.
English is hard, especially in the country where I'm from. But my wife is asking how the show's going, so I'm gonna take a picture of my daughter over here beside of us as I send to her. But you're talking about the foul ball, which is phenomenal. I got so upset because we was playing at this one field, as I got tears on me too. And the fence, the home run fence or the outfield fence, was a little bit short. It was probably 4 or 5 feet
The
tall.
Little League legend, apparently, as Perry says in the call cast. By the way, people, listen, we can't see your Twitter comments anymore, as we said always. So, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, a great way to reach us. But listen, people, if you, for some reason, a very bad reason, don't want to look at us, you can go over to Colorcast. It's fine. And just listen to us. You can leave it running in the background of your phone. No big deal. Get a nice little workout in. I mean, I won't be the one working out. Look at me. But if that's what you're into, feel free. If you want to watch the football game that's on right now, but you hate the announcers, I don't blame you. You can listen to us talk a little baseball and watch some football. So listen, people, head over to Colorcast. Make sure you find us. Akon over USN. Michael is always MD Lawson 00 with the USN at the end. So make sure you find us. Head over to Colorcast. Give us a nice little listen. Run up those hearts. As always, we got some people in here, so we appreciate you guys running up the hearts as well. But Michael,
so back to my
plug.
story.
I was going to say I had to do a little plug. All right, fine, Michael. You don't
I'm all about plugs.
Yeah,
no.
Okay, exactly.
I'm all about plugs. You know that. But so the field that we used to play in was called Ray Field, and I just remember that. And it was probably 4 foot high, I'd say. And they moved over to a new field, and it was a beautiful field. It was Huff Park's what it's called, but the fence was probably 6 foot high. And this one dude actually threw very slow. And again, it was Little League, so it is what it is. I mean, I was actually always kind of afraid of the ball coming at me, so I was a little hesitant.
Michael, slightly, I don't blame
Of course.
You. Slightly. It's a very hard object.
It really is. Even though, legit, my last year of batting in baseball, my dad was the coach, so I kept up with my stats. I batted 700. I was actually pretty good at baseball. So I actually crow hopped into this one and swung at it, and I thought I finally hit my first home run. And I watched it go as I was trotting around. I was so pumped. And where the fence was a little bit higher, it hit right under the yellow of it. And I was so upset. So I had to book it to second base as far as I got it. But I used to be really good at baseball. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here. I actually thought I wasn't going to make the team one year. Of course. Well, this is kind of funny. This is my nickname for my team. One of my coaches always called me Hollywood because whatever the craziest play that could happen, somehow I would pull it off. But in our tryouts one time, it was probably my second year of Little League. So, I mean, I was a veteran, if you will. Pop fly ball by the pitcher. I'm coming sprinting in from first base. And it's like, this underhand catch. I'm like, okay, I got this. And I missed it. But somehow it hit my arm, and I caught it between my legs and fell and kept it right against my kneecap. So they're like, you caught it. It's an out. Like, somehow you did it. It's like, oh, Hollywood. I just somehow crazy plays I always would pull off.
Michael, I have 2 great moments of plays that I can remember vividly. And but here's the weird part about one of them. I'm still not sure to this day if it was real or a dream. You ever have dreams that are so vivid you just don't remember if they're real or not?
Not that long in my life. I'll say this. As a married man, sometimes I'll have that dream that my wife is doing something wrong, or she'll have a moment where she cheats on me, and I'll wake up and I'll look at her and I'm like, you shouldn't have done that. Oh, no, man. Come on. And I'm like, okay, I couldn't tell that was real or not. But when I wake up, I realize it was fake. So I don't know what you're talking about. So carry on.
I'm pretty sure it's real. I'm pretty sure. But it was pitching machine. I was playing first base. And, I've never been a big sunglasses guy. But the sun was just right in the eyes, man. And I mean directly. Like, I can't see nothing. And I hear the crack of the bat. And I literally just put my glove up to protect my face. Can't destroy the moneymaker here. I mean, what are we talking about, people? And I caught it and tagged first base unassisted double play. Legend.
Nice.
I'm a legend. Another one I'm playing, and I don't remember. Oh, that's how it happened, actually. I'm playing first base. This one, Michael, foul ball into pop-up fly ball into foul territory. Your boy runs over, makes the catch, steps on first base, so that's 2 outs now. And then I ran over to second because somebody thought they tagged up on assisted triple play. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Nice. Now I need to know how old you were. What was this, like 4 or 5 year old? Like, were you bad off the tee?
No. This was majors. I mean, some people weren't very smart, Michael.
Okay.
Because Michael, did you ever have those people that played because you knew that their parents made them play?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I hated them.
I vividly remember this one kid. And every time he went up to bat, right, the ball would pass home plate, and right when he knew the ball passed home plate, he would swing, so he would get out in 3 strikes every time.
Oh my goodness!
And just walk right back to the dugout with the bat dragging on the ground. Yeah, and Michael said, even though I'm not very good, I am one competitive person.
Yes, I am.
Man, did that, like, I was the dude in gym class. I was that guy. Like playing
gotcha.
all the girls would get out of the way, or like
absolutely
kickball when they would get out of the way and not catch it, and I would yell at, yeah, that was me.
Right? Listen, I used to dodgeball, stay by the girls that would never move because you always have that four that's just like, oh my goodness, why are we playing, and just not ever move. I would get my own ball, like stand by them, so when somebody throw, I can knock the ball down to protect them to try to win the game. Like, don't play if you're not going to do this. But thinking about reminiscing here, I guess, when you said that you caught a ball in foul territory, I was on first base one time, and I mean, I've always been a bigger guy, but I can move, and this ball was probably hit right down by the batters.
They underestimate that about us. Us big.
They really do. Like, I really have a quick first step. It's just after that you're already caught back up to me.
Oh, but Michael, I've never agreed more. I also feel like I have superpowers. I swear to God, I'm faster at night. I think it's the sun just doesn't drain my energy. You know what I mean?
Okay. Anyways. So this line drive is hit right down by the probably the first base coach, actually, where it was at, the first baseman coach, you know what I'm trying to say. And I full on dive out, laying flat horizontal, about to make this catch, and it's about to be my Hollywood moment again. And the first base coach raises his foot up and knocks it down. And then what's funny, this is kind of how it is, I hit the ground, and the coach turns around and said, "Oh my goodness, Michael, I'm so sorry. I just heard the thud, and I didn't know you had a play on it." I'm like, I am so pissed. 1, that you kicked the ball. 2, that you said you heard a thud and ruined my opportunity there. But it is what it is, and I absolutely loved baseball. It was so much fun.
Yeah, like I said, it's funny, too, because, obviously as I got older, me and my brothers got better relationships and things like that. So I look back on it, and it wasn't even like the things that I really did that I remember too much. I just remember, I mean, they were better. Like, my oldest brother played all 4 years of varsity in high school, so he was pitched, played short. And my middle brother, we never won a section championship in our school's history for baseball. We were not very good. And my middle brother's team was Michael, by the way, his name.
Solid name.
Overrated at best,
No.
But they were the first team to ever do it. And in the championship game, my brother made like one of those over the shoulder. He played second base, like over the shoulder, stretched out. Willie Mays, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the outfield play. So made one of those catches, and they won their first section championship. I remember being at those games. I remember, going all the travel games because we all played travel too. Played for the Cyclones. Never forget.
Okay.
And all the tournaments that they would go to, and then the tournaments I would go to, and baseball was always fun. It was always fun.
Travel team has gotten a lot bigger in my area now. I'd say probably in the last 20 years, it's really been a big thing. But when I was a kid, it wasn't really much of a thing as far as travel teams. I wish it was. I probably would have played more.
Our travel team was like 40 minutes away from us, but we still played.
Oh yeah.
We didn't really have one like around us, but we found one and played.
Gotcha.
I always remember too, because the where we would practice sometimes, like the tryouts, even though basically if you paid, you were allowed to play. Was in like a warehouse next to an airport. It was like the weirdest place.
Gotcha.
And like downstairs were like the batting cages. I can still remember it, but yeah, man, baseball was always fun. It was one of those, like I said, everybody was involved. It wasn't like everything else, I feel like we all played baseball, and then like because I think I was the only one that played football until like D2 or whatever it was called. I mean, I stopped in middle school. Actually, no, my brothers played middle school. But
D2.
yeah, we had like Mighty Mites, D1, and then D2, I think.
So you all had like Pee Wee and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Listen,
Yeah, we didn't have
tank back in the day too. A tank.
Gotcha.
In fact, that was my nickname.
Really?
And then I stopped playing because they scared me into practicing. They were like, practice in middle school is going to be so difficult, blah, blah. So they scared me out of going. So I never played again. And I don't regret it per se. Don't regret it per se. But I kind of look back and I'm like, damn, I should have played. Because now I talk to my friends who play like in high school and middle school, and they're like, practices weren't even hard.
Really?
So I'm like, see, why you got to scare people?
It's like one of the main reasons why I didn't play high school football, even though I quit football and I didn't play my 8th grade year. I played 7th grade year. The reason I didn't play high school is because they always talked about Hell Week and how bad it was, like the 2-a-days. I'm like, no, man, I'm not doing that. Other than that, I would have played. But I actually think I would have made a pretty good tight end. And another reason why I didn't play, and I mentioned this with Ben, was football started out as a fullback because I didn't care to hit anyone. And this was 5th grade because we didn't have the Pee Wee and stuff. Like, whoever I'd run them over.
Oh, yeah, no,
but I was too slow to come out of my stance, my 3-point stance, to get to the hose to block for the fullback or for the tailback. So they're like, all right, we can't have you at fullback. We don't know where we're going to play you. Nobody on our team at 5th and 6th grade could remember every position's plays except for myself. Like, that's just how I've always thought all through sports is I don't want to know just what I'm supposed to do. I want to know the whole thing and how it all works. So in the huddles and stuff as the fullback, they'll be like, oh, man, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I'm like, okay, you're here. You block this way. It's this one. The 6 holes here. 4 means that you're getting the ball. So they're like, all right, Michael, we're going to have to put you at quarterback because you're the one that knows plays. So I'm too slow to play fullback. I end up being quarterback. So when I get up to my 7th grade year, the 8th grader – That's right. So the 8th grader was the quarterback, and I was the 2nd string, and I didn't like that at all. Like, even when we were like practicing, the 8th grade quarterback was asking me again, like, "Hey, what am I supposed to do on this play?" I'm like, "Okay, listen, the quarterback can't even remember the plays. How are you going to be playing him just because he's an 8th grader?" And it was a little bit of a favoritism there. So I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm out. So I quit. I wish I would have kept on playing because honestly, now in high school, our team was pretty good. We had a superstar at quarterback, so I wouldn't have played quarterback. But I actually think I would have been a pretty good little tight end.
I think I played center and like defensive line too. That was always like I literally never came out of the game. Like the coach was obsessed with me because I remember when I stopped playing, he was like, "You're coming back, right? You're coming back, right?" And I was like, "I'm not."
The tank is out of gas. Now, I played quarterback, and I was the inside linebacker on defense. What was funny is we'd have a jumbo play. Here we are talking football on Backstop Banter, but we're just reminiscing.
Talk about our childhood here.
Okay, but we used to have a play called jumbo where we took 2 linemen in and put them in the backfield, like on goal line sets, more or less, and just for playoffs, why not do it? I would go from quarterback to center because no one else can snap the ball either. So it's quite funny. Like here I am. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Y'all ever do shotgun? Because we never would do. Well, we did shotgun a little bit, not too much.
Oh yeah, we did everything. Like I was a professional. What can I say?
Understand.
We got Christian in the comments. Perry was the Jewish lightning back in high school basketball. Oh, Christian.
See, I've seen that on my notification, but it's not popped up in the chat yet for me.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. I heard, Christian over here, big college football player over here. Should be in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Should be in the NFL right now. But Michael, let's get
as many COVID breakouts, Christian, you might be able to make a team pretty easy right now.
This is you're not wrong. Michael, let's get into
let me get a jersey.
Let's go into the professional world here as we've reminisced about our he said XFL. As we reminisced about our childhood and our love of the game, where it's come from. But we go on to the majors now, Michael, and there's been 2 managerial hires. I'm not going to lie to you people, but we're going to sit here and not pretend that one was more important than the other one.
Absolutely.
So the Mets hired a manager. The A's also hired a manager. In fact, I literally wrote it down, and I still can't remember what the A's manager's name is.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah, Michael. Who is it then?
The A's.
Exactly.
Did you say
Mark
the A's
Kotze.
or the M's?
Really, Michael?
I couldn't
Mark.
tell what you said.
Oh yeah, I think he did. I think he did. Mark Kotze is now the manager for the A's, as Billy Bean, right, was the manager for the A's before. He went over to the Padres now, I believe.
Hmm.
So he was their third base coach, and just reading some things about it is that he made a strong first impression. Actually, I lied. Billy Bean is the GM. I can't remember. I don't know why I thought that was the former coach, but listen, we survive here. Um, and it says, just reading things that Billy Bean and David Frost were beyond impressed with his preparation. Like he came in and didn't consider, like he wasn't considered to be a front runner, but when he came in, he was just so prepared. He answered the questions properly that they kind of just knew that he was the person for the job. And I think, you look at him compared to what Buck is going to have to do. It's obviously two completely different things, and we'll get into Buck more because I think that's the bigger story. But just to touch on Kotze, it's a different thing. He's coming in there to the A's, who we obviously know have been an analytical team forever now, and that's where you start getting into the whole process of what's he really going to do, and how much power does he truly have. And listen, with the A's, I really do think it's a situation where you come in and you're given a lot of numbers and said, listen, we're going to need you to follow these, and we'll be happy with you. I really do think that's what the job entails over there. And hey, there's only 30 of those spots available in the MLB, so if you can get one, I would take it as well. But there's definitely different levels of responsibility. It's almost hard to come down on him if something doesn't go wrong or doesn't go right, I should say, because it's
Right.
well, I mean, he's just doing what the people are telling him to do.
Right.
So
One thing I do like about that hire is, the A's weren't really too far out of the race this year. Towards the end, probably a month or two, is when you finally start saying, okay, they're done, which, I mean, that's pretty well close. This guy used to be their third. Well, one, he used to play for the A's, and then he was their third base coach. So the guy is in the system. He knows kind of how the front office acts. He knows how the players are. So that's one thing I do kind of like about the hire. And again, just kind of piggybacking with the analytical part of the race, the A's. So I actually don't think it's going to be too strenuous for him. Like, he's going to have the group of guys that he already knows that he can kind of conversate with and be like, okay, so this is probably what we need to do in this situation. All right, let's go with it. So I think A is actually, it's an okay hire here. I'm not upset with it. Are
yeah,
you?
no, I think it's one of the things that you know. Here's the thing, right? I think it's a very different depending on what market you're in.
Mm-mm.
Because, and by the way, it was Bob Melvin who was the manager of the A's before this. He's now
Yeah.
the manager of the Padres. I mixed that up before, obviously. Um, I think it depends on the market because I don't think we look at A's fans as in if you guys don't do this, then we're gonna riot, type of thing where you
Right.
see in the big L.A. and New York and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So I think hiring for him works for a team like the A's because,
Right.
I mean, did you know who he was before this? Like, unless you
Absolutely
were
not.
exactly, like
Right.
it's not that the big splashy name that everybody kind of looks at when you hire a new
Mm-hmm.
manager. Everybody wants the you know a well-known name that's going to take you to the next level, and that he might not have the name recognition. At least for the casuals, obviously A's fans would probably know him. He was the
Right.
third base coach, but I think it works for a team like them,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it also works for them because fans also know that they're analytical. I think that's why other teams who say they aren't analytical, but we know behind the scenes that they are the
Right.
ones that frustrate their fans. Like the Yankees, like the Rays. I mean, we know that the Rays are analytical, but then you look at Kevin Cash saying, "Oh yeah, I didn't want uh, Blake Snell facing the Dodgers again in that lineup," and it's like, so did you do it or the numbers tell you to do it? Because if you did it,
Right.
you're an idiot, and if the numbers told you, then I guess we have to live with it, even though we still think it's a bad decision. I think
Right.
when it comes to the A's, it's okay. You guys are analytical. I know it's a new manager, but how much control is he really going to have?
Mhm.
And I believe this is also his first managerial position. Like as obviously being the
If
head
he's
coach.
third base coach, I'd say yeah.
Yeah, so I think he also gets a little bit of a grace period too to adjust. I don't hate the hire for them at all. Like I said, I think it's a lot
Mhm.
more of the numbers running everything than him doing it. Which hey, listen, it's okay because guess what? If he does bad, they'll probably say, well, you didn't actually let him manage, and if he does good, he still might end up getting the credit.
Right.
It's one of those situations. So we're gonna find out. And yeah, he was a coach for the Padres 2015. Then he was with the Athletics 2016 to 21, and then now obviously he is
Mhm.
their manager. So why not?
Hey, oh man, I will not do that. Never mind.
Oh, now I'm
Go ahead.
intrigued.
Oh, I'll bring it up, but I don't want to just sporadically bring it up like that because I want to do a little bit more where I have some more information because that is unprofessional for the situation. I don't want to do that. Sorry. Let's go on.
Well, with that, I don't have much more on him. I don't think we know that much about him. Obviously, we're going to see what he does throughout the season.
Mhm.
So we go on to Buck, right? And we talked about it the last time me and you were. What was that? What?
I was going to say, you know, we don't know what to expect really, but do you think there's a big difference between first base coach and the third base coach? Because in my experience of seeing stuff, like the third base coach is usually the next in line to move up. And I've always wondered, well, what's the difference? Like, why does because when a third base coach moves up, the first base coach usually moves over to third, and they get a new first base coach. Like, why is this the line of promotion here? What's the third base got to do with being the next step to be the manager?
See, I don't know. I do wonder that. I mean, like you said, there obviously are a lot of third base coaches that do end up becoming head coaches, but I've also looked at it that first base coaches have done the same thing, and bench coaches have done the same thing, and
Mhm.
you know, so I don't know. I don't know if there is that clear line of your third base coach. Now all of a sudden you're going to be the manager. There
Right.
definitely might be something there to say the least, though, because I have, like you said, there definitely have been a certain number of people to be third base, and then you're all of a sudden in a
Just there.
managerial search as well.
Yeah. All
But
right.
I don't
Carry
know.
on. Sorry.
But we go with Buck now, and we talked about it last time I was on the show that we thought that this was kind of the right hire. And see,
Hmm.
Michael, this is the situation I'm talking about where I think if the Mets went out and hired Kotze or
Right.
somebody of that, that's when you get you know an angry email to say the least.
Hmm.
I should say. Because even just listening to stuff after the Mets hire him, it's oh we got Buck and we finally made the right decision and this because that's something that also can't go underrated is the fact that the Mets made the right decision. Like
Right.
as easy as or like as funny as that is to say, it's true, man. Like they have made decisions that have not been the best. Perry says he loves the hire for the Mets. That's what we were saying early in the offseason, him or Sosha. And yeah, man, like I said, I think that this is the type of hire that the Mets need because if they hire somebody that doesn't have the name, you
There we
start
go.
getting the
Had to
angry
fix my line.
fans. You start getting the angry fans and stuff
Hmm.
like that. But
And a quick example of that is I absolutely love Draft Day, the movie with Cleveland
big
Browns. And when they weren't getting the right quarterback, what was it? What was his name? Bo, I think.
yeah,
The
Bo
Seahawks
Callahan.
went. Yeah, bam! Look at you. When they were
Yeah.
trading that first pick, the Seahawks, they're like, "Hold up! Like we expect the noise to get him. We're pissed now that you traded away that first pick for a ninth pick. I think it was somewhere around there." And like the fans went crazy for Seattle. Well, I'm just kind of using that as an example here. Like that's how the Mets fans I think would be if they didn't hire a top tier manager or just said, okay, we're going to bring in our third base coach and hire him. Like hold up, we need something a little bit bigger. So yeah. Now if the Reds or the A's something like that, we'd have done it. Okay, we understand. Actually, our manager now was our third base coach. Come to think of it, no, he was the bench coach. So come think of it, see, the smaller markets can do that, but the bigger markets can't.
No, they can't. And I think people think that the whole New York is tough on their sports team thing is like a joke. Let me fill you in. For
It is
somebody
no
who lives
joke.
here and listens to it, you could be Jesus walking, and if you brought in the wrong bullpen pitcher at a certain time and end up losing the game, the
Mhm.
next day everybody and their mother wants you fired. Now, Michael, like, listen, I want the Yankees to win the World Series as much as any other Yankee fan, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, Aaron Boone has made the playoffs every single year that he's been the manager of the Yankees. Every year,
Boom.
they've
Watched him
won
play.
they've won 90 games every year. I would say, and maybe it's just because the fans of him don't call into the show,
Mhm.
but I think listening to New York radio, probably 70% of people want Aaron Boone fired every year. Every
Really?
year, there is never
Well, see,
we
the
got to give
Yankee
him a break type
fans,
of thing, blah blah blah. It's like, oh, Boone lost the third game of the season. This is why he sucks. This is why he can't be the manager of our team. How dare you guys do this?
even though
And
he
I'm,
won the first two,
I'm,
right?
I'm like, Jesus, bro. I'm like, this is baseball, right? This isn't football where if you go on a 3-game losing streak, your season might be over. There's about 150 games left, right, guy?
Yeah. See, and I hate to do this, I really do, but Yankee fans are almost like Kentucky fans with basketball. Like when we beat Western Kentucky this week, I want to say it was yesterday. Somebody on Facebook actually, and of course I'm going to Facebook because Connie, you need a Facebook. They actually said, "Okay, Facebook friends, it's awful quiet. We must be winning," and we won. Whenever Kentucky's losing, it is bad mouth galore. Calipari can't coach. All he is a recruiter. He can't do X's and O's. He needs to be fired. It's past his time. And I'm like, the dude has took us to so many Final Fours, so many championships. We're the most winning team in basketball, and look at the players we have put in the NBA. Like, back off, and if you can do better, apply. That's my thing. I get tired of hearing people complain about so much. Like, if you can literally do better,
Oh yeah.
go apply, try. But it's always the couch potatoes are the ones that are hollering the most. Like, personally, I think Aaron Boone does pretty good. Last year, the 2020 season, I thought the way they played looked a lot better than this year. But you guys had a lot of injuries and different things this year, right?
Yeah, I mean, you obviously had to deal with COVID, and
Mm-hmm.
at one point it was, Judge was on COVID, and I
Right.
think Stanton was on COVID at the same time, and you have a bunch of random people uh, coming to play for you. I mean, they were bringing up people from the minors that Greg
Mm-hmm.
Allen and Tim LaCastro and random, like, I mean, who, like, you get
What
to the
about
point.
ISO Joe playing in the NBA now?
I did, Michael, I did see that. Just looking at this court, Dodgers winning it all in 2022, of course. Of course, I'm surprised anybody would say that, I never would have guessed. Yes, Dodgers
Mm-hmm.
did win this year. Side Talk NYC better than the Mets, Jets, and Giants. You know what, Christian? You're not wrong. Side Talk NYC is a national treasure. That's what we do here in New York. We're basically a simulation. New York is basically a simulation. I'm not going to lie. Padres to the postseason. I would love the Padres in the postseason.
I
I
think
really
this
would.
might be,
I think I
we
think they
need
put it
them.
together this year because I mean you look at last year, they put this team together, but they weren't on the field. I mean Tatis
Right.
missed all those games with the shoulder. Exactly, Clevenger who got hurt. He had the Tommy John. Hugh Darvish was hurt for a little bit. Snell didn't live up to what they traded him for.
And this year they're supposed to have another pitcher back that didn't pitch any last
Yeah,
year, right?
Clevenger.
Okay, yeah, Clevenger. So yeah, I think this year's the year for Padres. Padres, that just sounded so weird to say. So I don't think we have the Giants this year. Do you?
No, I don't. I mean, you got Buster retiring.
Mm-hmm.
They lost. They lost Gosman, right? To Toronto. New coaches too. Yep.
I think so. Yeah.
But
I can't remember who they hired. I was wanting to say they hired a new manager, but I was afraid to lie. Okay, that's right.
Remember the A's manager that we were talking about before?
That we're just talking about. Yes, exactly.
Listen, Mike, it's a long day.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Listen, you don't even know.
But where was I? Oh, I guess with the Mets. We circle the wagons as Boomer used to say. Back to the Mets, but yeah, I think Buck was the right hire because I mean, even listening to, like I say, New York radio, it's people are actually happy about it, and the joke is, the Mets never do anything right, and this and that, and we have to give them credit when they do something right.
Mm-hmm.
And as simple as that sounds, when you don't do something right for a extended period of time and then you do it correct, you should get credit for it. And I think this is something that the Mets deserve credit for because, listen, they could have went out and hired somebody else, but your fan base obviously wanted Buck. And you shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
let the fan base, dictate moves that you make. But when it comes to a move like this, hell, it looks like it's going to work out because this is actually a good move. It's not where the fans are, go trade for Mike Trout. Well, guess what? Everybody wants to trade for Mike Trout. But and listen, the other thing, he just signed Max Scherzer to $45 million, and he was the one coming out and saying, "I want Buck Showalter." Not
You
exactly the
better
best
make him
first
happy.
impression if you hire this dude for you sign him for $45 million and then you don't do what he says. Now, can you always let the players dictate what you do as a ownership as well? Of course not. But if you can make them happy and all it takes is a potential Hall of Fame manager, then yeah, I don't think it's the worst decision. And I think the thing with Buck too is I think this is his last chance, obviously. I mean, he's like 65, I want to say,
Mm-hmm.
66. So he's obviously up there. We know that the White Sox manager, why can't La Russa?
LaRusso.
I want to say Lasorda.
I think he's got to be older than 65 though,
No,
because I
he's
mean,
70. He's like 70.
not LaRusso,
Buck?
Buck.
No, I think he's like 66.
Really, because he looks
Listen,
old.
Michael, when you manage all those games and one of those teams, yeah, he's 65.
Okay, okay,
Listen, Michael, he's had to deal with a lot. He had to deal with George Steinbrenner. Yes,
okay.
he had to deal with the Orioles at one point. That takes some years off their life.
My mistake.
Um, but I think the thing with him too is this is obviously his last chance because of his age.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is a big proving thing for him. He got a 3-year contract, so it doesn't have to exactly be the first year. But Michael, you have to remember something too, right? He goes to the Yankees. He's with them for actually I have it pulled up right here. I don't know why I'm trying to guess here. He's with the Yankees from 92 to 95, and they fire him. You know what the Yankees did in 96?
They won the World Series.
Yeah, they won the World Series. Then Michael, he goes to the Diamondbacks from 98 to 2000. You got any clue what the Diamondbacks did in 2001?
They won the World Series with
They
Luis
won the World
Gonzalez.
Series. Then he went to the Rangers from 2003 to 2006. Michael, do you know what they did? Not the next year, but a couple years later.
What?
They went to the World Series.
Oh, okay. I was going to say. So he's pretty much the Mark Jackson of baseball.
And that's when you start getting questions about yourself. It's okay, well, you can get somebody here, but why can't you get them over the top?
Mm-hmm.
And is it just a point of bad luck? Maybe, but
Honestly,
there's also been some things out there that he wears out the veterans in the room.
right.
He's a little rough around the edges, but I
You
mean,
know, some
you don't
people
want to
I
be you don't
think,
want to be known as the guy to not be able to get the team there.
but I honestly think that he still will play a pivotal part in all those teams that won it because he got them built to somewhere. And this
Oh
is
no,
something I've
absolutely, but it's not
okay,
his name on the
right,
ring,
right, right,
and
right.
that's what matters.
Because I even think of Bill Parcells, like a wonderful football coach for many years, but a lot of teams he didn't win with. Like he would build them up. Almost he's a great rebuilding coach that can get them to that level. But once that he gets things changed to get them there, it's almost like he just can't coach to win. It's almost like we're changing the atmosphere, changing the organization. I'm great at that. I love it and I thrive at it. But now that it's changed, I don't know what to do. So, I mean, I don't want to take it away. And of course, if you don't have a ring, you don't have a ring. But Bill Parcells is a great coach. I mean, do you agree with me in football?
Yeah, I mean he's one of the greatest coaches of all time.
But does he have a ring
Yeah, he won. Yeah, Michael.
with the? I'm really asking. Didn't he win with the Bills?
He won with the Giants. He beat the Bills. I think.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
I
Because
think. I think he has 2 with the Giants. I'm gonna look it up for you, Michael.
okay, but I just feel like some coaches are better at different situations on teams. Some
Yeah, he
coaches are
has
great
2 Super Bowl rings, both
as
with
the
the
head
Giants,
coach.
I believe.
Okay,
Yes, as the head
okay,
coach.
okay. So I don't know. I just feel like some players or some coaches, even like I said earlier, Mark Jackson rebuilt Golden State. And I think if Steve Kerr would have went into that team when Mark Jackson did, he may not have this team to where he has them now. So I think you got to look at it that way. And I'm not trying to take anything from other coaches or make other coaches be bigger than what they really are. But I just think some coaches are designed better to be rebuilding coaches, and I hate it for them.
Yeah, like I said, I think this is. I think he can make the Hall of Fame without a ring. Um, but
I
it
don't
just
think
obviously
anyone
makes
can
it
make a Hall of
it
Fame
makes it
without
a
a
lot
ring.
more difficult. I mean, he's a 3-time manager of the year, so it's not like he's some slouch. He just
Right.
hasn't been on the team that won it all. He won in '94 with the Yankees. He won in 2004 with the Rangers, and then he won in 2014 with the Orioles. And then and then that's the other thing too. The thing that kind of helps his legacy, I guess you could look at is he left the Orioles in 2018. Michael, what have they done since then besides lose 100 games 4 years in a row?
I mean, what did they do in 2018 and below, though?
They were in the playoffs. Buck got the Orioles to the playoffs a couple of years.
I just feel like the Orioles have been nothing for a very long time.
Oh well, when you lose 100 games consistently, it definitely feels like that. But no, Buck did get the Orioles to the playoffs a couple times. I
Okay,
remember
okay.
because I think they played the Yankees in one of the series. And that's the other thing too. We talk about Buck like he's a great manager, everything like that. And
Hmm.
like I said, everybody around baseball thinks he is, and I think he is as
Right.
well. He's only won one playoff series,
Really?
so I mean, but then you also have to go back. Like, so '95, he's with he gets fired in '95 with the Yankees. '96 was Derek Jeter's rookie year. Like, I wonder how that turned things around. And then you go to the Diamondbacks. Obviously, they put everything together in 2001, and the Rangers. I think they went to the World Series in 2008. No, because the Phillies beat the Rays that year. Was it?
What
Oh,
year?
I can't remember what year the Rays or the Rangers went to the World Series. But I mean, 2006 was probably before Josh Hamilton. We know how important Josh Hamilton was to that franchise. Um,
Don't
so
badmouth Josh Hamilton.
no,
That is not
I'm a
allowed
big
here.
Josh Hamilton guy.
Okay. You know the story with me and him, right?
I don't know the story. You have a story?
Okay. 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 It's not really that great, but to me, it was awesome. So, Josh Hamilton played for the Reds when he wasn't doing drugs, and he was running out. It was basically like his rookie year coming out. Like, I think he got signed with the Rangers, came up through their minor league, and then over to the Reds. I don't know if it
Uh-huh.
was the Rangers, but or not. But, anyways, so he's coming out to left field, and I accidentally dropped my glove off of the wall out,
Oh, you're
and
one
it
of
fell
those
down.
guys.
Didn't mean to. And I go, "Hey, Josh," it's like the seventh, and Josh, my glove, my glove. And he turns around, and it was in between innings, so it wasn't like during the game at all. And he turns around, sees my glove laying in the floor, runs over there to it, and he takes his glove off and acts like he's throwing me his glove and going to use mine. And I went, "Oh," and he faked me out. And he
Bad
smiled.
guy. That's a bad guy.
I mean, if he wouldn't have done drugs, he probably would have gave it to me. So,
That might have
kids,
been pre-drugs, Michael.
no, actually, he had a really good story, and I know people on drugs. It's a complete battle. I'm saying that jokingly, but it is a complete battle. Like he actually has an autobiography out about himself, and I read a little bit of it. Like, did you know that he actually had like a person that he went through rehab with before the Reds? They were roommates and everything like that. He had that guy go to every game. Like he paid for him to have a room that they buddied up to try to
Wow.
keep himself straight. Like, I mean, he has a good story, but it just doesn't end the best. So I was really happy to hear that about him, and I actually think he was a Christian during that time, and that helped him, having that faith. And I haven't heard much about him now. I don't know if he's straightened back out or not. Hopefully you do. Josh, shout out you, come on the show. Let's talk about it. And
Never
Yeah.
forget the home run derby performance, Yankee Stadium.
Oh my goodness, that's probably the best home run performance ever, next to Todd Frazier winning it at the Great American Ballpark for the Reds.
Listen, Michael, I'm disappointed in you. I can't believe that you left out Vladdy.
I'm just gonna be honest with you. I mean, you know, Vlad is my hero, and I'm all about Vlad. But right now, his baseball card is number 4 of the month that is raising in value. Just so you know. But
I'm
man,
too
Josh
busy with
Hamilton.
NFTs, Michael. Too busy.
Hey, something's dropping at 8 o'clock in the morning, ain't it?
8 Pacific, so it's 11 Eastern.
Oh, okay. I was wondering about that. I'm about ready to grab that Christmas thing, even though I have no money.
I'm very much attempting to grab the Christmas stamps. Shout out USPS.
There we go. But no, I mean, hands down, Josh Hamilton, number 1 event of
Oh yeah,
home run derby.
I mean, he won an MVP, so
He didn't win the home run derby though, did he?
no, I don't think he. I don't.
I'm
think
pretty
so.
sure he pretty much died after that. Like, didn't he hit 23 home runs in the Yankee Stadium?
I thought it was something like that, and that used to be when it was by outs. It wasn't like the timer.
Yeah.
So it was 10 outs.
That was single-handedly the most exciting event to watch in baseball.
I love the home run derby. Listen, by the way, I know that
the home run derby is probably the best.
I was gonna say it's my favorite out of all like the sports stuff.
I would say top 2 is home run derby and 3-point contest.
Yes, that's what I do too. I would say home run derby, 3-point.
I like to watch the quarterbacks throw at stuff that's moving, and in Hawaii, I you know, it's fun, like the little robots, whatever you try to hit. It's fun to watch, but it's not like, oh my gosh, that's great. Like, they're just out there having fun.
I like, you know what I do like that the NFL does though, that little wide receiver thing where they like run around and they have to catch one like one-handed, then they have to catch one at the sideline over the shoulder. That one's a little entertaining. I like that one. But home run derby, even if you don't like baseball, I think you enjoy it because it's just people hitting complete tanks,
bombs.
I'll never like Judges is my favorite because obviously it's my favorite, one of my favorite players, and he won. But I mean, that was the year because that was the year in Miami because Stanton was in it as well. But Judge was hitting them literally off the back of the stadium, like off the glass in the back. I was like, bro, they're hitting it 550 feet. Like, how is that even humanly possible? Very fun stuff. But Michael, here's the last point I have about both new managers, actually. I want to kind of tie it all together because this is where it gets very intriguing to me. There, as we all know, there's a lockout going on. In case you know, in case you've been living under a rock, the MLB is currently locked out. It's
me. I apologize, people, if you can hear that.
I wish I was snoring too. I really do. But yeah, so with the lockout, you can't talk to your players.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that has to be a very weird thing. Buck was obviously in the MLB when there was a lockout, I believe in, what was it, 96? No, 94, I want to say. No, it might have been 95. I don't know. It was in the 90s there was a lockout or a shortened season because of a strike or something like that.
Right.
So, you know, he's experienced it, but
I'm sorry, but you got to hear this snore.
That is certainly a snore, Michael.
I'm sorry. It's a little congested snore too, ain't it?
Well, it was something.
Keep going.
Give us some Claritin, Michael. Come on.
We're Zyrtec people here.
Nah. You know, I'm not a big stuffy nose guy.
Okay. I mean, that's awesome, man. I love it. I like the stuffy nose. It's the best, man. You should try it sometime.
I'm good. But it's weird. Like, imagine not being able to, like, you get hired for a job and you're not allowed to talk to your coworkers, basically.
Pretty much. Like, I mean, Buck can't technically talk to his players. Like, hey, you know, I'm excited to work with you. You're my ace.
No, like he can't even send like a hello text. Like, he can't even send like, and the weirdest.
Do you think he's not?
You can't. You can get. Do you know how much trouble they would get in?
Do you think he's not though?
I don't think he is because I think he's smart enough to know that if they get caught, those fines are going to go be very hefty.
I bet you Buck has already got a list of everyone's phone number and said, you know what, son, I can't, but I accidentally left this paper here. If you want to send a message over here and just be like, hey, can't
Listen, is it
wait for my
possible?
dad to work with
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely possible.
Yeah.
But
I,
I don't, because here's the thing too, right? Right, Michael? I was, as always, listening to the Michael K show, and they had Buck on, they interviewed him, and he's not even allowed to say the players' names.
oh, wow.
Like that's the weird thing too. Like it's a complete, separation between the two sides. Like, he was joking around. He said, I'm gonna have to ice my ribs, you know, after all these interviews because my wife keeps elbowing me in the side after I say a player's name because she knows we're gonna get fined. Like it's a you literally are just not allowed to have contact with them, and I wonder.
That's crazy.
And it's not. See, here's the thing: it's not like football where obviously there's schemes or basketball where they draw up plays and things like that. It's baseball where listen, see the ball, hit the ball. If you're a pitcher, go out there and try to strike everybody out or get outs. So it's not like that where
It's a
you're
bit more, but
falling.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I know what
where
you're saying.
you're
I know what
falling
you're saying.
behind the scheme wise. But it
Right.
also you can't tell me that that's not a disadvantage for Buck
Well,
and
that's if
God say.
if you even think, even when we had TJ Antone from Cincinnati Reds, relief pitcher who had Tommy John surgery for the second time mid-season on the show back in whenever we had it, he even talked about his this year he had only showed, I think it was the curve and a fastball, and he said he had been working on a splitter or something to that effect. I can't remember exactly what the pitch was, and he said during the preseason, his pitching coach was like, "Hey, let's work on a third pitch." And
Mm-hmm.
of course, everyone's got a changeup, but he said he hadn't thrown a changeup in like 80% of his pitches. So he's like, I just don't want to throw it now. So he's like, here in a couple months, I was thinking about releasing my splitter. I'm pretty sure it's what it was. So back in the preseason, the spring training, this pitch was being worked on. Now, granted, we're not to that point yet, but we're going to be. We know this.
Michael,
These
we're under
players
100 days. We're under 100
really.
days for the season when it's supposed to start.
Oh my, that's exciting,
It
but
is
depressing.
not really though because we don't know if there's going to be a season.
You're right. So I mean, even not even just from the coach standpoint. Now I'm assuming that Buck can probably talk with his bench coach, his
Yeah, he
staff, and
can he can
everything.
talk to his staff. Yes.
So they can go ahead and have their schemes of what they would like to do with the players. But it's even crazy thinking of that. Like I'm going to come up with a scheme for Lindor and how I want him to approach playing this year. But I can't talk to him about it and have it planned out and see if he's okay with it and how things are going. Like right
Exactly.
now, the Padres can't talk to Tatis to see if he actually wants to still play outfield or maybe come back to the infield. Like, you want to make sure he's happy if you're a new coach. That's kind of crazy. I mean, that would be tough. Like, why even hire a coach yet? But other than just wanting to have it done, like, oh no. Wow, my ESPN just switched to darts. I think I'm going to have to change that.
Well, listen, Michael, don't underestimate darts. Very entertaining.
It is. I just can't do it. That's why I don't watch it.
I'm weak. Man said I don't have the talent. I can't watch it.
Exactly.
You watch the NFL, you can't be in the NFL.
Listen, dog. I
If
would
it wasn't
be
for that knee injury back in high school.
no. I would be the Jared Lorenzen of the NFL if they would let me play.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Corey, for saying we're doing an awesome job. We appreciate that. On Colorcast, guys, if you're watching this live where you see our beautiful faces, go download Colorcast as well, where you can listen to just our audio and not hear or not see this wonderful Kentucky background for baseball. So check that out. Go to it, search USN, and you will find all of Unwrapped Sports Network's people. And a last second shot in halftime. Oh, for Stanford for 3 from half court. That was nice. Anyways, sorry getting sidetracked there.
No, it's just I just thought that was intriguing. Not
Mhm.
like I can't imagine. Like I said, it's basically like being hired for a job and then not being able to talk to your coworkers. Like
I
that
would
has
be
to be a
fined
very
so much just because regular everyday conversation talks.
yeah. I like it. Like I said, it has to be weird for me. You're not allowed
Mhm.
to. You can't get that congratulatory text from your players. You can't. and go out and say, hey, what are we thinking? You can't have meetings. It's weird. And like I said, we're under 100 days, Michael. We are under 100 days when the season is supposed to start, because I think they usually start in late March. They've started the
The
seasons
games
now.
usually, yeah, like last week of March, first week of April.
Yeah.
Because my birthday is April 8th, and we usually try to go to like opening day.
So, listen, it hasn't. I don't think it's going to affect anything crazy yet. But like I said, once you start getting into the February, March area, yeah, we're gonna have a problem.
Yes.
And that's the bad part too. Is just listening to things. I'm pretty sure that both sides pretty much agreed that they weren't going to talk until after the holidays. So,
well, they talked last week, but they said they would not talk about any economical problems,
which is literally the
differences.
only thing that they're caring about.
Exactly. Like, I mean, okay, let's meet for 7 minutes again and say, yeah, we probably need to do universal DH because the fans want it. Okay, we agree. See you guys later. Happy New Year's. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. All that whole 9 yards. Now, let's get into the good stuff. But that's what irks me. Like, I seen an article that was written 2 days ago. I think it was on MLB that talked about they're not meeting now. They won't talk about the major things until January. But then again, he went on to say that, things can change day to day. They may end up saying, okay, something's very important that we think we can discuss. So I feel like there's some type of talk that still has to be going on. It's just behind closed doors, or it's not an official meeting, more or less. Because if we're going to say that at any moment things could change and they have a meeting, then it's got to be like, hey man, like, met with some of the managers or the owners, and we're thinking that this could be something that we could talk about. Like, this is a meeting ground possibly. But, okay, let's get in a room and let's talk about this. There's got to be, like, letters going back and forth, or at least something. I don't know. But to me, it's very heartbreaking and disappointing to think that they're not taking this time on strike to meet. And
I think it's bad that they let it get to this point. Because like I said, if you remember the first show we did when everything happened, I mentioned that Jeff Passan wrote an article after the old collective bargaining agreement was signed, like the day after it was signed, saying that there was going to be a lockout this coming year. So it's basically been however long the last CBA was.
You said 5 years or something like that.
Yeah, something of that nature, where you knew something wasn't going to happen. So you're telling me you couldn't have had preliminary talks before this? And listen, you just go back to it, and I think it's just a simple fact that they don't like each other.
I mean, it's almost to the point where you got to say it's almost childish.
Oh no! Listen, it's millionaires against billionaires. Like, sorry, I don't feel that terrible for you that you guys think you aren't making enough money, and that and that's where they just go back and forth. It's kind of well, she did that, but she did it because I did that. Like,
right.
It's one of those situations where the players are saying that they're not making enough money, but Max Scherzer just signed for $45 million, and now the owners are saying they don't have enough money, but they spent like
so
the most.
Much.
I think they spent the most money ever, like in free agency before something happened. So like, who doesn't have the money? Which side doesn't have the money? Because you're losing me here. Because you can't say you don't have money and then sign someone to a $43 million contract, and then you also can't say we don't have money, but be able to give out the contracts. Like, that doesn't make sense. So there has to be that common ground. And listen, when we reach the common ground, we will be some of the happiest people, because then we can go back to talking about free agency, and because that's the thing too. It kills all the programming. It's, I think they overplayed their hand where they were thinking that with a lockout going on, everybody was going to be like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do without baseball?
Right.
And it's like, what are we going to do without baseball? What are you talking about? I'm watching a football game right now. I don't care about you guys.
I'm watching basketball.
I'm watching a basketball game. What do you mean? What am I going to do without the NFL? I'll tell you what I'll do without the MLB. Everything else. So it wasn't like back in the day where baseball was the clear-cut number one, and it was the only thing that mattered to people, because now it's, okay, you guys aren't playing, I'm going to go watch 18 different things.
Yeah.
Now
And
college is more
even with
prominent than
technology
ever.
too.
Yeah, now college is more prominent than ever. There's, the NFL is obviously on until February. People, the casuals, they always say that basketball doesn't matter until Christmas. Well, it's Christmas. So, that's when the casual, can start paying attention to basketball. And it's just, I think they overplayed their hand a tad bit, thinking that it was going to be such a big deal. And listen, they probably felt fine after that first day, because when it first came out that they were locked out, that was every headline is, oh, MLB's locked out and we don't know how long it's going to take. And then 2 days later, have you heard about it?
Absolutely
Have
not.
you
Like
seen on ESPN?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had to search to find anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's not headlining ESPN. It's not, Fox Sports isn't, only talking about that. It's just,
Right.
it's not a thing. It's just not a thing. But, Michael, we'll find out when it is a thing again. And hopefully it's soon, because I need baseball to start on time. I need baseball to start on time. Right. I also need free agents able to be signed so we can, Michael, we got usually around this time we would be doing, breaking down teams and what we think they're going to do for the season, but we can't even do that because we don't know who's going to play where. How am I going to give predictions on the Yankees if they go out and then they sign Carlos Correa? I'm going to, what? That changes everything. Mm-hmm. But Michael, I think it was another wonderful episode, if I say so myself.
Hold up, I got some stuff I want to talk about real quick.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Oh,
Did you know that the Pittsburgh Pirates were the first team? Let me read it. This for the first time in franchise history, the Pirates will have will have in uniform a female coach.
Oh,
Caitlin Callahan will serve as a development coach for the organization based out of its Pirate City complex in Florida. The team has not made an official announcement of the hiring, but the team sources confirmed the move, and Callahan shared the news on her social media. So I think it's a great time. This time last year in Florida, the Marlins hired cannot think of her name. That's why I was trying to do the research.
Yeah, I know. She's the GM, though.
Yes, the GM. So I just wanted to break some news that hasn't been fully broken yet about another move in amount of ball where women do have a place in baseball. So I just thought that was awesome. And even the fact that it's in developmental baseball, I think that's pretty cool. Like, I mean, it'd be great if she was a manager of a MLB team. We all know that would be awesome. But this person definitely, like, to be hired as a developmental coach, this woman knows baseball and just the odds, ins, and outs and everything. So I think that's really cool. And congratulations, Miss Callahan, for that hire. And I just thought it was great.
No, that is. I think it's just fun when women are in sports because, listen, I mean, if you ever looked at a comment section when they mention anything about women in sports, it's the most toxic thing you'll ever read in your entire life. And I think it's just because people are idiots and like to make stupid jokes about things. Right. But it's fun, man. I like when, it's in, I mean, I've talked to plenty of men who know absolutely nothing about sports, who know nothing. And I've talked to plenty of women who know a lot more sports than a lot of people that I've talked to who are even into sports. So the fact that, it's getting to the point where, more and more things are happening in that area. And hopefully one of these days where, a woman gets hired, it's not breaking news. It's not a big deal. I mean, and Michael, you got 2 little girls at home. So you got to hope that it can exactly one's sleeping right next to you. You got to hope that it continues this way. Maybe they'll be out here, GM of the Yankees one of these days.
Hey,
I'll do the Reds. Fine.
Thank you.
Why not? Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's great. I'm going to ask you this: what top sport do you think will have the first head coach?
I think it'll be basketball.
Basketball,
because I mean, Becky Hammon, right, was around Pop for all those years. Learning. I think football is too toxic for it to happen.
I do too.
I still think it's a lot of toxic masculinity around that. And then baseball, I don't know. I feel like I haven't heard about too many stories of women like coaches anywhere. So for all of a sudden a woman coach just come out and be a manager, I think would be really random.
I think
But
it'll be basketball, baseball, then football. I agree with you on that completely.
yeah, I could see that. I could absolutely. And basketball always seems like to be more of the progressive sport.
Mhm.
They always say basketball. That's the saying that I've always heard and I've always liked. Basketball does it first, the NFL does it right, and the baseball is the last to do it.
Okay.
So, yeah, I like that though.
Awesome. Now I'm going to ask you a quick question, and then we
Okay.
can wrap it up here, okay?
Big fan
Who
of
is the
questions.
only athlete ever to score an NFL touchdown and hit an MLB home run in the same week?
Deion Sanders.
That was pretty easy, wasn't it?
No, I know that because he
I mean, you
didn't
either
he? I think
got Bo Jackson or Dion, pretty much, ain't it?
well, yeah, but I remember he got a pick six and then hit an inside the park home run.
Yep. In 92, he led the MLB in triples and led the NFL in kickoff return yards. He hit 533 in the World Series and was the first team All Pro cornerback. How awesome is that?
That's the thing too. I don't know why we always talk about Bo and not Dion, man.
Dion was amazing, actually.
Like Dion was out here bossing it up, and we only talk about Bo as like the two-sport athlete. But hey, Dion
Dion's
hit
up
an
there.
inside the park home run with the Yankees, by the way.
But
That's who he was with.
when you see Bo throw that one ball from right field,
No, it's unbelievable.
yes, and it doesn't look like it don't even look like it has a pitch, like to fall
No,
down that
it
far.
was
Like, it is
effortless.
a dart, which I can't throw darts, so let's not talk about it no more. All right,
My
Dion's better than
uncle
Bo.
has a couple dart championships.
Nice. I've got a buddy that actually is on a team that is trying to do leagues and stuff.
I suck at darts. All those sports, like with accuracy, I'm not very good at.
I hate cornhole. Like, I love the game, but I hate it.
Oh yeah, big fan. Big fan. I'm actually pretty good at that. Actually, I lied. Cornhole, I'm pretty good at, but like bowling, I suck at bowling, which is annoying because I love to bowl. Big fan. It's fun.
Really,
Why not?
bowling frustrates me because
Cosmic bowling.
they have the little triangles that you're supposed to line up by. You get in the gap and then you take the 3 steps and then you just go straight and it's supposed to be a strike every time. But then sometimes it goes left, sometimes it goes right, sometimes it goes straight and then goes left, and you're like, what's going on here?
See, my friend, I would always go with him because that's like what we did in high school sometimes, like cosmic bowling on Fridays.
Of course.
Typical. And my friend is actually pretty good at bowling, like upper, 100s, low 200 type of things.
Gotcha.
So he's pretty solid, and I'm sitting there, low 100 maybe, and he's like, "Oh, you're not flicking your wrist." I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm straight." And he's like, "No, bro. The wrist is this way, man." I'm like, "Listen, you know what? I hate you. I do." But Michael, you got anything else? You got any more, little tidbits?
No, I think that's good. I think we're good to go. My wife just
All
got
right,
back from
Michael.
town. She texted me. She brought me some McDonald's. So
Oh,
go have me a McDouble. What do you have when you go to McDonald's?
listen. First of all, I think it's a crime. Actually, no. All right, I won't say it's a crime, but I'm a big fan of their milkshakes. Big fan.
Okay.
Nice vanilla milkshake from McDonald's.
That's what I always get, vanilla. The rest is just nasty.
I hate chocolate ice cream.
Really, I do too. Like when I
hate, but I also hate chocolate milk. But I'll sit
it's
there.
okay.
Regular milk, I'll drink like water.
Okay, that's a little
Big
weird.
milk guy.
Wait, drink like what?
Like water.
Water?
Yeah, how do you say it? Water?
Water.
That's what I just
sounded
said.
weird. Yeah, water. All right. Anyways, like Neapolitan ice cream, totally vanilla and the cherry. Like I wish chocolate would be like far away from everything else. It's just so weird.
You know what's a terribly underrated ice cream, Michael?
Coffee. Dreamsicle?
No, coffee.
Coffee's not an ice cream.
You've never had coffee ice cream?
No, why would you drink that? Or eat that? That's nasty.
It's literally one of the best things you'll ever have.
Why do you have iced coffee? It's coffee. Don't ice coffee.
Oh my God, you're one of these people.
It's coffee. You make it with hot.
First of all, it's coffee, not coffee.
Coffee. That wasn't it.
That's coffee. What you just said, though.
Not coffee. That's northern. Come on, that's
coffee.
Boston. It's coffee. Anyways, and there's no such thing as iced coffee. That's dumb.
No.
I
In
have
fact, I
never.
only drink. In fact, I only drink frozen coffee.
Oh, so you're not a man. Got you.
I don't
You'll
like.
get there
First of all, I
one day.
don't. If that makes me not a man, absolutely. Coffee is not good.
You'll get there
In
one day.
fact, I take my. I prefer my creamer with a bit of coffee in it.
Oh, I mean, I'm with you on that. I've got to have my creamer. No lie. No, there's no
I
black
like.
coffee here,
Listen,
man.
black. No. I take mine basically white with about 8 pounds of sugar in it. Not,
The sugar don't really bother me too much. That's only, I guess, to wake me up. I could
or a
care
big
less on the damn milk.
vanilla bean. Oh, perfect.
Sounds nice. It sounds nice. But yeah.
Whatever,
So what do
Michael.
you get when you go to McDonald's? Like you can't just always get a
Um,
milkshake. Like what do you go to? Crispy chicken
I'm
sandwich. That's what you kind of make me think of.
I'm a McChicken guy. I like McChickens.
Oh, McChicken's not the crispy chicken
No,
sandwich.
no.
Okay.
I'm a McChicken guy. McDouble's fine. Maybe Michael. You see, here's the thing, right? We I don't know if your schools around you do it, but we always give out we sell these coupon cards, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Buy one, and our McDonald's always do buy one get one free large sandwich.
Oh,
So
nice.
like if you buy a Big Mac, you get a free one.
You ever
So
call in on the receipt, the numbers, and get a free sandwich?
never in my life.
On the receipt, it says if you call and give us a review, we'll give you a code for a free sandwich. I hardly
Not
ever
one
do
time
it,
have I done that.
but really, there's someone out there that collects receipts that people probably throw away. Like,
Joe, you know where you can really finesse the system is Chick-fil-A. Because
oh yeah,
if you ever go to them and you're like, yo, why are there pickles on my sandwich? You're like, oh my gosh, we are so sorry. Let us give you a new one. And a coupon for a free sandwich next time. Every time. Every time. Like one time we went and we thought that they forgot one of our sandwiches, but we just didn't see it in the bag. They gave us another sandwich and a free coupon for a free sandwich. I was
so
like,
nice of
bro.
them.
Every time I come here, I'm about to just lie.
Oh, but
Yeah,
then you'd
Michael,
feel
I'm one of
guilty
those
doing it.
people that takes advantage of things. Absolutely.
You'd feel guilty after a while.
No, Michael, not even an ounce. Not 1 ounce.
It's Chick-fil-A. You have to.
Well, guess what? You don't have to do anything, and I certainly wouldn't. Anyway, Michael,
It's a full.
tell the people where they can find you so we can get on out of here.
You can find me in St. Louis, and I can brain ring all day. No. I'm sorry,
Nobody
bust
knows
that up,
that song,
Nelly.
Michael. Nobody.
It's Nelly.
Nobody.
Do you
knows
not
that
know
song.
who Nelly is?
I know, Michael. Obviously, I know who Nelly is.
Okay, then. Know
I've
his
never
good
heard that
stuff.
song though.
Anyways, you guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everything like that with MD Lawson 00. That's all the handles there in the bios. You can also find my link tree that has all the other links. Find me on Colorcast, MD Lawson 00, USN at the end. Of course, we go live every Thursday night, 9 o'clock. Had to go 10 o'clock today. Luckily, after Christmas, we'll actually change our schedule where we're closing at 8 o'clock, which will be very nice. But also on Saturday nights at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time is Count the Bucket with my co-host Nick Andre. We bring all the great stuff with the NBA. Sometimes we'll dip into a little college basketball and some WNBA as well. So check them out.
Yes, sir. As for me, Anthony Conover _ on Twitter for all my thoughts on the world, I guess you should say. Mostly sports stuff because I don't really like anything else. Mondays, 7 Eastern Generational Sports with me and my boy Josh, breaking down everything from, we got the UFC, we do, football, we do basketball. Hey, listen, anything you want, that's what we got for you. Tuesdays is the hard count, me and my boy CJ, breaking down everything in the football world. Going over the previous week's games, giving predictions for the next week. And then obviously, like Michael said, Backstop Banter is on Thursdays at 9 Eastern. Make sure you check out the pod as well. Available everywhere you listen to your podcast. So if you ever miss any bits of the show, you want to go back and listen, feel free to go find the pod, Backstop Banter, on Apple Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Leave a nice little review for the kids. Leave a nice little rating for us as well. And then, also check us out on Colorcast, people. We got a nice little deal going on with them. So make sure you check us out on Colorcast. Obviously, everything is much appreciated over there. Had some comments going on tonight. And, I guess that's it, Michael. Michael, before we go, this is the last show that we'll do before Christmas. So I got to say to you and to all of our people out there as well, a Merry Christmas, Michael.
Merry Christmas to you and to yours as well. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You know, Michael, anything for you.
Oh,
Maybe.
thank you.
But with that being said, we will head on out of here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And